Alright, so today I want to talk about LR Super Saiyan Bardock. It's been a few days. I've been able to use him a bit, test him out. And I really actually like this guy. And I already did like him when I initially saw his details. I mean, I called him great free-to-play LR Super Saiyan Bardock because, he is a great unit. He's actually quite good. Honestly, he's better in game than I thought he was going to be even, so that's really nice, and that's kind of what today's discussion is. I'm going to be talking about how good I feel like this guy is in comparison to some of the other best units in the game, and I think they absolutely killed it with this Bardock. He is really good, and he's going to be very useful for a lot of different players. And one thing I want to say is they didn't easy this guy, and he's probably not going to get an easy until the future when he wouldn't need one, which is how they should do things. This guy is so good right now, and he doesn't even have a proper 220% leader skill. Actually, he technically doesn't have one at all. Like, he doesn't have a proper team, so this guy only can stand to improve, right? And I think that's just something I want to start off with before we actually dive into things, because when he gets a proper 220% leader skill, or even like a really good 200% leader skill character, right, we're gonna be looking good, because the best 200% leader skill that he fits is this Vegeta's right here, Super Saiyans and then Pure Saiyans. That's like his best 200%. I mean, you could run the Super Saiyans, I guess, but yeah. So we need another leader to fit this guy as a 200% or ideally a new 220% leader. Maybe we get a Bardock in the near future, but we'll just have to wait and see, right? Like a new Bardock. But again, look at the replies here. You don't have to lie, toilet seat, clickbait, the speed gif, right? And now people are actually looking up on this guy. So again, if you don't know, the reason why this guy is good is he's doing a lot of different things, right? He has the 50% defense stacks on his 12 key. He does raise defense for one turn. You put that together with, again, he doesn't have the highest start of turn stats, but this multiplicative stat right here, 100% on a stacker, is very effective. Like, stackers getting an ability like this, bare minimum 100%, that's when things can start getting crazy, because obviously this okay, this is the start of turn, then you go ahead and you'll see this next start of turn. Essentially how the math will work is that you'll see this, then this will multiply on top of that. So this, it says 100%, but it'll basically double what this is essentially, and then all the stacks you get multiply on top of that. But with how it works in game, the start of turn defense you see will be doubled when this guy attacks because of this, and it's going to be even more than doubled because then you're going to get another stack. You can get the 12 key super attack effect, and his defense gets so really high, right? He's also supporting, right, which is a nice little buff right there. He has 30% damage reduction. He has an active skill, and sometimes you can get a scouter, which I think could be interesting if you do fall below the 60% HP, which is not uncommon. I'm not gonna say it's a very common thing. If this does happen, he does have a scouter ability he could potentially get, which is nice to have in his back pocket. He's debuffing. For the first 4 turns, he has guard, so like in battle hardened formidable foes, he has this plus potentially the reduction. Yeah, I think when he doesn't have this reduction, obviously he's in short content, he's gonna be mediocre. So you can't really take him against, let's say, the hardest battle hardened formidable foes fights, which are stage, well, you can take him into the stage 9, right, with the Beerus, the Broly, and the Golden Frieza. Frieza is on transformation boost, Beerus isn't. The Broly, his first phase won't be, but then the second phase will be, so he can get the 30% reduction in those phases. But more than likely, you're gonna take this guy into stage 8, which is a tournament power stage in there, and if he does have this transformation boost category restriction up, keep in mind this does stay active for the rest of the fight, so that's why it's really good for the formidable festival battles, because you get this up in any phase that will be one of these enemies, and then they're going to be weak enough so where it doesn't matter that he needs stuff instantly. And yeah, so you'll keep it for the rest of the fight, so which is really nice. So yeah, that is pretty much that for the Super Saiyan Bardock, just in terms of like what he's doing. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at the tier list. So again, this is pretty much the top 10 tier list I made last time. I think with Festival of Battles out, I actually would move Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta up, just because I think his counters are very prominent there. I liked the gods over Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But I think, you know, you're going to get to a point where you need to transform Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and those counters are going to be so impactful. And the gods, you know, it's like the gods luckily don't need as much priority, being fair, with like stacking. But man, it just Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is just better in that fight, right? And I think that does matter, right? If it's like neck and neck, super close, that is like when one new hard event comes out, I think that tips the scale for me with these guys. I probably would change some of this stuff. Again, this is just what happened the last tier list I made. Maybe not again, because at this point I feel like even with the Festival of Battles fight, I'm not going to consider as highly as other fights potentially. I think the main basis for me again is still going to be generally red zone battle hardened formidable foes, just because I think that is most of the game. And Festival Battles was very difficult. I'm not gonna have it take a major priority, or else it'd be like, oh, Namagoku would be like 6, right? But this is not a Festival Battles tier list. This is a tier list of the entire game, right? Now, these are, I don't think Bardock's top 10. I think, you know, if I was gonna put anyone else after this, it would be, I think Super Saiyan 2 Gohan fits there. I mean, I'm sure there's other characters I could find that would fit there, and this is only LRs. Come on, like Age OUI Goku? Probably not. No, there's a lot of dodge canceling now. I mean, it is roughly like these characters, though. I think kind of make a lot of sense to me. Like, would I put anyone else here? Tech Gogeta, I think, could be an option. Like, you could say Tech Gogeta is in talks here. You could say LR Janemba potentially is in talks here. Potentially, I would not put Tech UI here. I mean, you could throw around talk about Age OUI, but not really. Just the dodge disable for that guy, man. There's a lot of, you know, the Jiren's dodge disabling, Blue Goku dodge disabling. It's very tough for that guy right now. And it sucks to suck, right? But yeah, this is just the landscape of the game right now. Like, I think he's generally in these talks now. Whether he's as good or as bad as other characters, that's up to y'all to decide. I feel like, I mean, okay, so we could take a look here. This is the red zone tier list. No, this is the formidable Festival Battles. I guess we'll get rid of this first. I think he's up here. Full Power Frieza would be S, potentially the top of S or something like that. Like, this is actually ordered here for this tier list. But he doesn't really have a good team for that fight, so I feel like, you know, he could be higher fit. But okay, let's take a look here. This is him at the end of the fight, right? He's gone 71 stacks. We're at the 4.9 mil defense, so he's basically at 5 million defense. Keep in mind, when he attacks, he gets 100% defense. That is multiplicative against this. So because he gets that extra defense when he attacks, he's actually going to shoot up to 10 million defense. You know, if we use the active skill here, that not only gives him a 318% defensive buff, but it also does give him the 100% attack and defense when attacking. So you can see, once we use the active skill here, you know, the active skill itself doesn't really do a lot of damage. The attack stacking doesn't seem to be mega prominent. I mean, it will help out instead of him doing 0 damage at the end, but we see when you use the active skill, he's at 41 million defense. So even without considering the 30% reduction, he's fine. But, you know, even also without the 30% reduction, he's able to tank the normals for both the Gogeta phase and the Goku phase. So I did actually lose this run because I think I over prioritized Bardock a little bit. But okay, so like, okay, let's think about it. How much defense does Bardock actually need to tank the normals? I would assume he only needs roughly probably like 6 mil defense. I think the only thing is the AGO Gogeta like normal. So like, I don't know, let's say for example your AGO Gogeta normals, obviously when he super attacks, hits for 10 mil, right? You know, that's very, very devastating. So let's say he had 7 million defense once he attacked, right? And then, I don't know, let's say he has the 30% damage reduction right here. As, yeah, see, Super EGF, he does take 100k normal. So let's say, I don't know, let's shoot for 8 million defense. He takes double digits. Let's shoot for 7.7 mil defense. He does take double digits, right? We actually, that's more than I thought. Okay, wait, let's see. Yeah, 7.7 mil, 7.5 mil maybe. Like he's still eating these very well, even with just, I think 7 mil, and then yeah, actually you get to 710 mil, and that's where he's about taking double digits. So he needs about what, 3.6 mil defense to double digit tank all the normals, and after that he's fine. And you know, that's not considering that he gets, maybe he gets additional super off. So again, this guy was at 5 mil. You could probably like get, again, was there a sec, I didn't show him earlier on in the fight, but like, let's say, I guess I showed him a little bit off here. What was his defense stat in this specific turn? Did I show it off? I think I might have. I did not show his defense stat, apparently. I should have. This, let's see. I showed it off here, right? I definitely have had to. Please pass me. I don't know if I did. Anyways, the point is, I think you don't have to stack with much, and you'll have a very successful run. I think that was my first time trying Bardock in there, but like, yeah. And then guess what? If the super attack is aimed at them at the end, you use the active skill, and he does not die. He'll be perfectly fine, right? Because the 318% that he gets on his active skill is also multiplicative. So guess what? It gets even a disgustingly huge number. Like, okay, he's at 7 mil, the 318%. That's like a Super Saiyan 4 Goku almost level buff, man. So like if he's at 7 mil defense, once he attacks, he actually does shoot up to, and I'll just do math right here, about oh wait, I did that wrong. Wait, give me a second. Yeah, if we do this, he shoots up to 2.9 mil defense, right? We could just take a look here. So yeah, guess what, he's really good in a fight that I would consider the hardest fight. But like, okay, let's stick around. Let's talk about, you know, red zone, right? Because I think red zone is very important for a lot of people. I'm gonna probably put him around here still, like just in general. I think red zone is a little different. Maybe well, this is the red zone tier list. I should probably, would I use Bardock over Broly in Broly's team in the red zone stages that are very long right now? I mean, I like, the stages are so long. I probably would have him in the same general tier. Again, it's not really like a general thing, which is kind of crazy for a lot of people to hear that, but okay, let's take a look at the red zone here. So Bardock here was at 762 mil defense, or not mil defense, 762k defense. So he attacks, he's at the 1.4 mil defense range. Now this is with a couple of stacks, say about 5 stacks or so. Again, he doesn't have the capability to tank supers, but he actually will have the capability to take normals. So like, again, let's say 2 million normals, or not 2 million normals, yeah, well actually 2 mil normal, just how hard these bosses hit. Let's say he's at 1.5 mil. With 30% reduction, he's taking double digit damage from, you know, any single boss, right? And over right there, he's, you know, taking type neutral, so that's really good. Type disadvantage, he does need a lot more extra defense, but you know, type disadvantage is sometimes not very common. Like there's really a strong tech boss right now? I don't think so off the top of my head. Okay, and then we use the active skill. Guess what this guy shoots up to? Oh, he's gonna shoot up to more than enough defense he needs to actually take the super, and he actually did some pretty like decent-ish damage for being type advantage here. I believe I do show his defense. Yeah, he's at 6.3 million defense. He doesn't get the extra 100% when attacking here because it's already activated, but guess what? He's able to double digit tank any super, right? That's going to be aimed at him in these red zone fights once you use this up. So you float this guy as a stacker, that's supporting. And then at the end of the fight, use the active skill, and he's gonna have defensive tank supers, I think, in many situations, right? All situations, basically. So, yeah. And then we take a look here, like, and then he's supporting too. Like, the Bardock tanks better than these guys in this long fight. Bardock will slot 1 over Gotenks. I mean, yeah, actually, yeah. This is I don't think this is crazy to say. I think I'll probably put Super Saiyan 2 Gohan up here too. He's really good in the red zone fights. This guy phases out. I feel like, yeah. Gotenks probably moves down because he is time limited too. I don't think this is crazy to say, man. He could sit slot 1 at the end of the fight and tank these supers. Like, is it not really good? That's really good, I think, right? That ability plus supporting. I mean, he's not gonna do crazy damage, and that's where he, like, maybe falls off a little. But, like, let's say Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, he's not a slot 1 character, but he's doing mega damage to these bosses, right? But the Bardock is able to sit slot 1 and just cook, right? You know, I mean, if we take a look here, what is his attack stat? And this is all under 170% leader skill T, by the way. Keep in mind, that's under 170%. He's not under 220%. He's not even under 200% right here. This is 170 is the team he's on. That's basically the meta from what, 5 years ago? Well, maybe not 5 years ago. From over 3 years ago, right? This is the leader skill that this boosts this guy's pretty much getting, right? So let's take a look at in this fight. I think this is roughly good. Bardock, this is definitely his weakest fight, the battle hard and formidable foe stages. The good thing about Bardock in these fights is that he again has the greatly lower attack, and the thing about him is he gets an additional super attack guaranteed. So while he has a guard, he may not have the reduction sometimes. He does greatly lower attack on his 12 key, so you can get his 18 key, give him a little stack, then maybe you get 3 12 key supers or 2 12 key supers, and he like greatly lowers attack twice, right? That's going to be pretty good against the boss, that 30% attack debuff. And then, I mean, I'm pretty much just going to show the section here against the Ribrianne. Was that Bardock against Ribrianne? No, that's the LR Gods. So I want to, because I actually took him against the Tech Ribrianne Super, I believe. And we were able to see what he does in that turn. I think right here, he does actually eat the Tech Ribrianne Super. And I mean, again, so they always show his defensive stat here. This is only the 4.5 mil Super, so he's at 363k defense, right? And then let me just show this here. I mean, I guess, you know, his attack stat's not really crazy. He hasn't really stacked up at all. That's one thing. He doesn't do crazy damage, but do I care that much? Actually, I should have turned on the music from the beginning. The music is probably a little loud. Do I care that much? No, not really. Pretty much no. And then, so he's getting these extra attack debuffs against Ribrianne, which do matter. So here he should take the super, I believe. Oh, he doesn't. Which turn is it that he eats the super attack from Ribrianne? Maybe... Is it this turn? No. I swear I had a turn where he eats the Ribrianne super. But maybe, I swear I had a turn like that. I'm not crazy. Is it this one right here? No. What super attack did I have him tank? I think I probably did that. You know what it probably was? I probably did the math in the middle of the video, and I was like, oh yeah, he tanks the Ribrianne super. Because apparently she just didn't super me with Tech Bardock there, but yeah, no, because I guess I don't know for sure. Guys, am I insane? Am I crazy? Anyways, I think around here should be good for him. Maybe you could say he's a little lower. I think that's fine. He's definitely not as good as some of these other characters, just in general, these fights. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, so that is pretty much it there. Let me know what you guys think about Super Saiyan Bardock. Top 15 talks? Top 15 talks easily. Like, he's like 10th spot in the game Like, you could, if you say you think Bardock's the 10th best character, LR specifically in the game, I'm not gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna say you're absolutely crazy. You could make the argument. That's all I'm gonna say. But I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.